we dive into the intricacies of generative AI, to the audience that we have here, let me ask you a question. Have you ever wondered how your smartphone knows exactly what you're about to type, right? How does it know, or the suggestions you might get on Netflix, right? The next suggestions, the binge watch worthy series that you get, it's not magic, guys. It's something happening at the back end. The the word here is generative AI. Remember the internet evolution of 90s and the mobile technology boom that happened in 2010. It brought into a substantial change. Now, it changed the way humans worked and interacted. Just being in the right industry early sets you up for so much future success, right? So, if you feel that you might have missed something in the early internet or mobile revolutionary era, then do not worry, because what we are right now are on the cusp of generative AI, which will be much bigger than either. The world is about to change, guys, and we are just sitting at the ground floor. With this, welcome everybody. Good morning, hello, and I hope you are excited as I am, because we are going to dive into the journey of fascinating world of AI. Before we start this session, just a small request for all the participants here to put their phones on silent, because it's something interesting is coming up, and there should not be any distraction beside you. So guys, buckle up. We are just about to embark on an adventure filled with innovation, transformation, and maybe a sparkle of magic, probably that will leave you in a wow. So, as you know, that generative AI, as the demand of generative AI rises, no, it becomes very important for individuals to build necessary skills and skill set to pursue a career in this field. So, whether you are a student looking to enter the job market or a professional seeking to transition into a new field, developing the right skill sets will give you an competitive edge and open up exciting opportunities in the world of generative AI. Now, what we will be doing in this session is we will be covering everything from history, as in how we have evolved from the conventional AI aspect, the machine learning, deep learning inventions, and then how we have landed up into the world of generative AI. So, do not worry about it. We are not just here to talk the talk. We'll be sharing real world examples, practical tips, sorry, and yes, even some use cases which involve generative AI, right? For you to get an idea of what is the real world application of this new buzzword, right? So if you want to pivot your career, you can. Now is the time, guys. It doesn't mean that you would have to unlearn what you have learned, and then soon these tools, or probably leave the company that you are in right now, because these tools will be used by all the companies in every industry, not now but later, but they would be, right? So interesting, guys. I hope this is interesting for you guys, because here what I have with me is a very handy guide for you all to build a career in generative AI. The tools, these tools of such as chat gpt, mid journey, they should intrigue you. If they do, guys, this is great. If these tools make you curious about what next it can do, then you have an unfair advantage. You are curious and love to see what these large language models such as chat gpt can create. So right now, as of this point, what you need is a device with a mobile internet, and probably if you're attending this session, you got the first one covered, and the second is an inquisitive mind, to learn what new is coming. So with this, let me go to our very first segment, that is how we have evolved from AI, that is how the evolution of AI took place, how we have moved from conventional AI to generative AI, right? So just imagine a time when there were mere mention of artificial intelligence, and the first thing that would come to your mind was an image of science fiction robots, right? This was the dawn of AI, the era of conventional AI, where machine followed predetermined rules and algorithms, right? They were like an obedient soldier marching to the beat of human command. This gave to the birth of conventional AI, and the story began from 1950s. Um, the time of great technological optimization, where Alan Turing, John McCarthy, they laid the grounds for what would become now as an artificial intelligence. So, in an early AI system, where primitive, limited to the early AI system, it was limited to performing specific tasks with predefined instructions, right? It was just like a digital puppet, which was dancing to the tune of programmers, right? So, as the years passed, it underwent metamorphosis. The AI underwent metamorphosis, entire machine learning. It arose as a rebel child of AI, breaking free from the shackles of predetermined rules. So, machine learning algorithms, it learned from data, adapting and evolving with each iterations. Like it was just like teaching a child how to ride a bike. It was just like that. Then came the advent of deep learning, right? But the evolution did not stop there. Deep learning, it burst into the scenes like a supernova, revolutionizing the way machines perceived and interpreted data, right? It inspired this was inspired by human brain. Deep learning algorithms, it created complex neural networks that was capable of recognizing patterns and making decisions with human-like accuracy. And now, since we have moved from that stage, what we are right now is are at the pinnacle of AI evolution, that is generative AI. And unlike machine learning or deep learning, generative AI doesn't just analyzes data; it creates something new. Using techniques like like generative adversarial network (GANs), machines have learned to generate something that is entirely new, say it from images, music to text and videos. Uh, it's like giving a blank canvas to AI and asking it to paint a beautiful picture. It's capable of doing this, you know. Um, Now, what since we are moving up from from the rigid confinedness of AI to the boundless creativity of generative AI, the journey of artificial intelligence, it has been uh, nothing but then a miracle. With each leap forward, we're closer to the future, where we could dare to dream how much far we can go, right? Now, to remain relevant in this ever evolving era, we have to learn certain skill set. We have to keep our skills, we have to keep ourselves equipped with what is in demand right now. How should we remain relevant in this dynamic industry? So this is where our next segment comes, is how should we stay relevant in a dynamic field, that is by developing right skill set and where to apply these skill set. So in this in this field that evolves faster than speeding bullet, staying relevant is the key. It is not just about learning the latest buzzwords, the chat gpt, DALI, generative AI. It's about cultivating a mindset of curiosity and adaptability. Uh, Thinking of yourself as a digital chameleon, blending seamlessly into the technological landscape. So there are a couple of skills that I have listed here. uh, that is the technical skills that you might require, what is the creative thinking skills that you might require, the problem solving abilities. So let me give you a hint of technical skills. It majorly involves the learning of programming language. So say to work in generative AI, it is important to have a strong foundation of programming language. Some of the popular programming language that you might come across in the use of generative AI is Python, PyTorch, R programming language. These languages, they provide necessary tools. They provide necessary libraries for implementing and training generative AI model. Python, it is being widely used in the field of AI because of its simplicity and the versatility of this language. It has large number of libraries such as NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib. These are essential for data manipulation, analysis, and visualization. There are other such popular programming languages such as R, that is widely used for statistical analysis and data visualization. So learning programming language for generative AI is important because what it does is it allows you to implement, experiment with these different algorithms and model. It empowers you to understand and modify what existing code that is there, which is essential for troubleshooting, optimizing the performance of generative AI model, right? Next comes is the analytical critical thinking ability, right? Since generative AI involves analyzing complex data sets, developing algorithms to generate new content. So, a strong analytical and critical thinking skill is essential for understanding the basic pattern, the underlying pattern and structure in the data, and developing effective models. This paired with problem solving skills, which involves solving complex problems, say, such as generating realistic images or creating natural language responses. Strong problem solving skills are crucial for identifying the best approach and algorithm to tackle these challenges. These skills that we have right now, these paired with some of the other skills that I'm going to mention here, such as attention to detail or creativity and innovation, and strong communication skills are also essential because a generative AI, it requires high level of attention to detail, as even small errors or inconsistencies, it can significantly impact the quality of content that is being generated. So paying close attention to details and ensuring that accuracy is essential for producing high quality results. Apart from that, strong communication skills, this skill is required in every other domain that you go, right? In the field of generative AI, it is important to be able to effectively communicate your ideas and findings to both technical and non-technical audiences. So, a strong tech communication skill will enable you to convey complex concepts in a clear and concise manner. So, these are a couple of skills that are required in this domain and otherwise also.
Moving ahead, Chitralekha, there's one query on this particular slide. From
Let
Pooja Mittal, she is asking, is knowing these programming languages required for finance professionals?
required for
Finance professionals.
So see, as far as I have came across, I have a working knowledge of financial models, etc. These programming knowledge, they give you an edge in a way that knowing these languages, they make your life easier, right? You write a code and that code solves the problem for you. So say for example, you have 10 tabs in an Excel and you want to select each row, one row from each tab. Instead of doing it manually, you write a code and then it will do it for you entirely, right? And there are in the era of generative AI, there are various platforms, that can give you just tell it in English that I want to write a code which gives me from an Excel sheet one column from each tab, which has 10 tabs in an Excel sheet. It'll write a code for you and give it to you. But the thing is, how accurately it does depend is your work to analyze that whether the code is accurate or not. It will give you something, but until and unless you would know the programming language or what goes behind it, you won't be able to figure out whether the output I'm getting is correct or not, right? So that is why technical skill is required to build a strong foundation in this. Got it? I hope I'm able to answer the question well. I think I'll move ahead if there is no other question. Right, Ekta?
Yes, yes.
Got it. Now, moving ahead, crucial skills that are required to build a career in generative AI. We talked about the skills such as technical skills, critical thinking ability, problem solving ability, attention to details, creativity, and innovation. But apart from that, what are the specific skill sets that exist there? This is what we're going to look here. So, now let's talk about the must-have skills that is required to thrive in the generative AI world. So from coding wizardry to creative thinking and everything in between, it's like assembling your own Justice League of skills, right? Because in this world, you're not just a programmer, you're a superhero of creation. You know how to create, you know how to give a command, a prompt that will create something for you. You know, while there was machine learning and deep learning, these are two main components of generative AI. So, machine learning involves the development of algorithms that can learn from data and make predictions. While deep learning, on the other hand, is a subset of machine learning that focuses on uh, training deep neural networks with multiple layers. So to excel in the generative AI domain, it is important to master the technique and algorithms that are used in ML and DL. It includes understanding concept of, say, supervised learning, unsupervised learning, reinforcement learning, neural networks. It also involves learning about different types of generative AI model, because at the end of the day, when you sit to make something for yourself, right, just a very simple application which works on the fact that you give a prompt and it will generate a report for you based upon the problem statement. It will generate a report for you. It is required for you to understand the basic concepts of all of these models. It involves learning about different type of generative AI model. There are variational autoencoders or GANs for that matter. Now, moving to the natural language processing and computer vision, uh, that is NLP and computer vision. NLP, these are two subfields of AI that are closely related to generative AI. NLP, wherein it focuses on the interaction between computers and human language, and the computer vision, it focuses on enabling computers to understand and interpret visual information, right? So in this field, NLP can be used to generate natural language responses or create realistic texts based upon prompts that you have given. You ask ChatGPT, write an essay about what do we say, herbivorous animal. It'll give you a good essay about herbivorous animal, right? It'll create something realistic text based, and this would be new, right? Computer vision, on the other hand, can be used to generate realistic images and videos based upon given description. So, write that I want what do we say, a image of a tiger in a snowy mountain. This will it'll try to generate something new, right? So this is what basically NLP and computer vision comprises of. It is important for Gen AI because it allows you to leverage the power of subfields to enhance the quality and realism of the generated content. It also enables you to understand and apply advanced techniques of the algorithm, such as RNN, for NLPs, and convolutional neural networks, CNN for computer visions. So this is what is important here. Next is prompt engineering. Now, guys, see, prompt engineering personally being one of my favorites. This is very interesting. The ability to create effective prompts to guide a generative AI model in producing desired outputs. As in, prompt engineering is something like I mentioned earlier, teaching a kid how to ride a bicycle. You write something, say, give me a 10-liner paragraph on today's weather. Now you say highlight, it'll give you a paragraph, and then you come and say back to it, okay, highlight on the humidity part of it, highlight on the windy speed of it. It'll improve upon the suggestions that it's going to give you. The prompt engineering works upon this aspect only. It is crucial skill for anyone seeking to build a career in generative AI, because what you do is give a prompt to a machine. So by mastering this skill, professionals, they can drive creativity, control the output quality that they get, tailor solutions to specify challenges, mitigate biases and ethical concerns, facilitate iterative experimentations by using this. Apart from this, there are various other crucial skills, such as one of the very crucial skills that we come across in day to day of our lives is ethical consideration. That is the awareness of the ethical implications of generative AI and how to mitigate potential biases. So, ethical consideration, it becomes an integral part to build a career in generative AI model. guiding professionals to develop and deploy AI system responsibly, how they should mitigate the biases, the discrimination, protect users' data and privacy, the security, ensuring transparency and explainability of the system comes handy here. So by integrating ethical consideration into the practice, professionals, they can contribute to the responsible advancement of AI technology and foster trust and confidence in the use of this model. Because this model, it is endless, it has endless possibilities that you can draw out of it. So what one thing that comes into your head is how ethically you can use it. This is one fact about it. Now we've discussed about the skills that we require, from technical to soft to very relevant in-depth skills that we require, such as NLP, computer vision, prompt engineering. Now, how would you develop these skills? You know, how would you enhance your knowledge base and gain practical experience in the field of Gen AI? It is important. Um, uh,
Chitralekha, I think there's one more question from the
yeah,
previous slide. Is there from Arvind? There are many Gen AI applications in the market available, like
correct.
ChatGPT and others. Why we
Mhm.
need to create one more like this? Can we use the existing one?
Of course, of course. If you have to create a model, that is where I gave an example of building an application which generates a report for you. You give a prompt. So for this, somebody asked a question earlier, do I need programming language? Is it necessary? Why is it necessary? Is because you would have to write a code giving an API call using the existing model. Now chat gpt is a very big model. It's a base model. There was bloom that existed earlier. uh, Now it is chat gpt. Then there is an advancement of chat gpt 4. You can give an API call. We do not need to build a model from scratch that generates something. We just have to give an API call, which would use the data that exists there. You can limit this. So in the example of creating reports that I mentioned, right, an application. So for example, the report is being prepared for some sort of documentation of a webinar that has happened, right? So you limit the information that I want some relevant information, such as that are relevant to this webinar, and do not and need not have to concern about the out of context information that exists there, because the model is very big, right? This is how you can create without building something from scratch. You can use the existing model of chat gpt and create something new of your own. People are creating chatbots, they're creating an application that generates report, they're creating suggestion based model, text summarization models of their own, by just fine tuning the existing model. This is the word, fine tuning is the word. You refine the existing model based upon your needs and then create something what you want. So if I hope this answers the question that has been asked here, that whether we can use the existing model or yes, of course you can use the existing model here. So now I think if there are no other questions, Ekta, I think we're good to go, right?
Yes, yes, we can proceed.
Got it, great. Now since we were on the point where we were discussing about how should we enhance our knowledge base and gain practical experience in this field. So see, knowledge is power, but practical experience is that secret sauce. Whether it's diving into online courses, experimenting with open source project, or even hosting something or making something a model of your own. There are endless ways to level up your skills in generative AI. Now, one way is online courses. There are various tutorials, etc., to learn fundamentals of generative AI here. Enrolling in online courses, there are free and paid materials also. At TimesPro, we have this certified program in artificial intelligence and machine learning. That's very relevant to what we are discussing right now. So these courses, they give you a foundation, a fundamental knowledge of what generative AI is, and that too from experts, right? But now See, I have a lot of knowledge with me, but what comes handy here is that do I have the practical knowledge, the real world application of the concepts that I have learned, you know? This is where your hands on projects and internships come handy. So engaging in personal projects such as building generative AI model or exploring applications, this is how you can, you know, take an hands on experience of project different projects, or say probably seeking out internships or entry level positions to gaining practical experience of generative AI. So it is crucial. Why? For developing the necessary skills and knowledge in generative AI. It allows you to, you know, apply the concepts and techniques you have learned in the real world setting and gain hands on experience with different tools and technologies that are there. So, one way is to gain practical experiences is a work on personal projects. You know, this can involve developing generative AI models and algorithms, experimenting with different techniques, and creating original content of your own. Sorry. Personal projects, they not only allow you to showcase your skill and creativity, but also provides you with valuable learning opportunity. You have a lot of knowledge, but you do not have a working knowledge. This To bridge this gap, hands-on projects and internships come handy, right? And the last part of it is networking, connecting with professionals in the field through online communities and meetups that are there, industry events, you know, staying up to date with the latest trends and advancements in the generative AI is crucial for the success in this field. Because see, as we discussed earlier, this is a constantly evolving field, you know. It is it is evolving rapidly with new techniques, with new algorithms and models being developed on a regular basis. So, staying up to date, it is important to actively engage with the Gen AI community. You know, this can involve reading different research papers that exist, because since there is something new happening at the end of the day somewhere, there are various and n number of research papers out there available for free, right? Following influential researchers and experts and participating in online forums and communities, this would give you a flavor of what new is happening in this field, right? um, Now, moving ahead, since we have discussed about what was the evolution to generative AI, and then what are the skills required, how would you enhance your knowledge base, how would you gain practical experiences, how to stay relevant by networking, learning from different experts and communities. Now we come at an edge where we discuss the transforming jobs and how generative AI is creating new roles in this industry. So, like one of my favorite, prompt engineering again. Uh, Prompt engineering, why? Because I'll explain this later. But let us think how this generative AI is, you know, transforming the job roles, and how it is creating new roles. Because it Gen AI isn't just changing the game; it's creating entirely new playing field from say AI ethicists to digital storytellers. The job market, it's brimming with exciting opportunities, you know, waiting to be seized. So let's come to the first one, that is the prompt engineer. Now imagine a world where words flow like water, right? And where ideas take shape at the mere stroke of a keyboard. This is what is happening. That's the realm of a prompt engineer. You know, the master behind the scene of generative AI. It tasked and it is The role of a prompt engineer is to craft perfect prompt to unleash the, you know, full creative potential of an AI model. So prompt engineer acts as a both artist and an architect, you know, sculpting the pathway of imagination. So this is a new role that is being created in this era. Then comes generative AI researcher, you know, as this field advanced through research, what generative AI researcher do is it researches through the developments of what new can come into this. So at the forefront of innovation, a generative AI researcher they dwell into the depth of generative AI, unraveling its mysteries and pushing the boundaries of what's possible. So, armed with curious mind and thirst for discoveries, they try to explore new algorithms, experiment with novel architects, and they pioneer in a breakthrough that shapes the future of AI. So this is what AI researcher do. Then we have the role of, say, AI security manager. We discussed about the ethical considerations that we should take in place. So for AI security manager, with great powers, it says that it comes great responsibilities. And in the era of generative AI, security is paramount. Uh, Enter the AI security manager and the guardian of digital, who is the guardian of digital fortress, against the forces of, malicious manipulations, from detecting deep fakes to thwarting adversarial attacks. These vigilant protectors, what they do is they ensure the creative potential of AI and wielded them responsibly and ethically. So they are there to set the ethical ground rules for how you should use generative AI models, right? Then we have generative AI content creators, that are digital storytellers. Uh, they the AI creativity coaches. What these people do is, in the world with content, storytellers have a power here. In this digital era, weaving the narrative that captivates heart and mind. So they control the power, or they have the power to generate something new based upon what existing is there, right? Because the idea behind all generative AI models is that it gives you something new every time you search for it. So these are certain sort of roles that are being created in this era. There are different sort of other roles also, such as AI sustainability analyst or experience designer, creativity coach, etc.
I think we have one question on this
Yeah,
slide from
yeah.
Arvind again. He's
Yeah,
asking, prompt engineers are like command prompt. So it's space to enter our query to get what we want. So
right,
if so much, why there is so much scope for prompt engineering?
right, correct. Got your question. Why there is so much scope of prompt engineering? Reason being that, say I am there. I give some very basic prompt to Gen AI, right? To the model, to ChatGPT, to write a paragraph on something. Uh, it gives, because the model is such a huge, it gives me all sorts of information, probably the information that I do not even require in that paragraph, right? How a prompt engineer comes into picture is that he knows how to curate this a prompt in such a way that it is able to convey its needs and requirement to ChatGPT in such a way that the quality of output it gets is relevant to what the requirement is. This is what the role of prompt engineer is. And not just the fact that the role of prompt engineer applies here also. So for example, you're building an application, right? You're giving an API call, and then you have to set some prompt, right? So I'll give the example of report generation again, because we have been using this since start. The report should be, say, 5 slider. The title of the report should be XYZ. There should be, the slide one should take this, slide two should be this. There should be relevant content in this. Now, all of these things is given by a prompt engineer. He also sets the ground rule of what not to take. Do not take irrelevant information, do not take outdated information, all of these things. So the role of a prompt engineer is to accurately create that prompt so that you get a very quality output from what from what is required and what the model is giving it to you, right? This is where the idea of prompt engineering comes into picture, right? I hope I answered your question. And if there are no follow-up questions, Ekta, should I move ahead?
Yes, please.
Got it. Mm. So, see, as the field of generative AI is evolving, its application it goes into all sorts of different domains that exist there, from art and designing, content creation, medical advancement, sustainability, etc. So creating unique and visually stunning artworks, graphics, etc. There comes art and designing part of it. Then creating content such as videos, etc. uh, what we are doing right now is to take a peek behind the curtains and explore how the diverse application of generative AI is. So from generating art that reveals the masters to crafting musics that strikes chord, there is no limit to what generative AI can do. It holds immense potential to revolutionize even the medical advancement, offering innovative solutions to to enhance diagnosis, treatments, research across various healthcare domains. It in the medical domain itself, it can help in accelerating drug process by generating novel molecule structure with desired properties, and such as a potency, selectivity, bioavailability, etc. It has also capacity to give personalized medical treatment planning, right? But guys, behind all of these things is the ethical consideration, right? There should be a human in loop involved always, right? Not just in the apart from the medical field, there are different other applications of generative AI also, such as in supply chain. Gen AI offers powerful tools and methodologies to optimize resource allocation, to streamline supply chain, and enhance urban planning, contributing to a more sustainable and environmental friendly future, right? By in supply chain itself, there are examples of resource allocation optimization, supply chain optimization, say urban planning and infrastructure design, etc. So these are some of the possible applications of generative AI. So now we have seen what are the skills that are required, how can you gain those skills, build practical knowledge, the application of these skills, which all domain are relevant here, the job roles that have been created by the advancements in generative AI. Let's now take this at a little lighter note and think of a use case as to what generative AI can do. Say, for example, for the betterment of customer engagement. So, see how generative AI it can enhance customer engagement. So, say by understanding preferences, generating personalized contents and recommendation, powering, there are n number of interactive chatbots and virtual tools that are available there. What generative AI can do is there is something known as sentiment analysis here. It can analyze the feedback that is being given by a customer, and it not just analyzes it, but the model continuously improves itself from the feedback that is being given. So, say for example, I have a chatbot, right? I am Zomato. I have a chatbot, and then I ask you, how was your food? The food was not nice. Okay, so you write something. Not at all. It was very pale in taste, and the delivery was late, etc., etc. So this what the AI model would do is it would judge the sentiment of the customer, right, and respond appropriately. As in, the customer is very paranoid with the quality of the food, the delay of the food, etc. It would respond accurately, right? Uh, it not just does this, but it dynamically optimizes the content based upon real time data. So this is how it is being used in customer experience or creating customer engagement. Through these capabilities, what businesses can do is they can deliver highly tailored and engaging experiences, by fostering stronger relationship with their customers, and this would eventually drive growth, right? So one use case we saw about the chatbot that I've just mentioned here, which involved sentiment analysis. Or say, probably, for example, you have n number of files that are there, and then you have to summarize the content of each file. Generative AI will do this also for you. You give it a set of long, huge paragraph, or say a research paper, and ask for a summary of it. It will generate a summary for you also. This is what you can use it in your day-to-day lives. Okay. Do we have any questions so far till here?
Yeah, I think there's one question. What kind of searching tool they are using to get information in the huge data set?
What kind of searching tools that are being used. So see,
Yes.
if you're building your own application, just give an API call. That's it. And limit, ask the, in the prompt itself, ask the GPT to limit the suggestions to whatever your requirement is. Now, there are no specific other tools that are being required here. You can see for different tasks, obviously. So say, for example, text generation, there is chat GPT. For image, there is mid journey. For code, there is code.ai. So for PPTs also, there is beautiful.ai or gamma.ai. There are different tools that are there for specific purposes, but to build your own application, just need a API call. That's it. And modify your prompt in such a way that it gives you a relevant output. So there are different tools specific to purposes, but till the time you are building your own model, what you need is just to give an API call. That's it. So I hope I answered the question. Let me move now. Since we have learned about the evolution, the skills, etc., and then we came so far till the use case of generative AI. Now let me wrap this up, because I think we are limited with now only 15 minutes, right? So I'll just give you an overview. I'll just conclude what we have learned from here, right? A holistic approach. How would you pave a path to the career in generative AI? A is continuous learning, staying up to date with the latest advancement and trends that are there in generative AI. Adaptability. How would you adapt to the changing sphere? Embrace the dynamic nature of the field. Every day there is something new that is happening there. How would you keep yourself updated? How would you adapt to the change by learning every day? Then there is ethical mindset, right? Whatever you are generating, consider the societal and environmental impact of generative AI application. Just for an exercise purpose, when you open chat gpt, go to the terms and condition part of it. You can see the ethics part of it. They have mentioned about the transparency, uh, about the data that they have. So if you have given a prompt, how long the prompt is saved in the chat gpt window, this all of these things they have given. What is the societal impact of it? What is the mitigation strategies that they are following? All of these things would be mentioned there. Or anybody who builds a gen ai model have to take into mindset and ethical concerns that are associated with that model, because the pursuit of gen ai is relentless. It would give you something new every time, but how is it relevant? uh, is what is the role of human who comes into the loop here, verifying whether the output is relevant or not. And last is by collaboration, fostering interdisciplinary partnerships to tackle complex generative ai challenges. So as we come towards the end of what we are to discuss, in conclusion, building the necessary skill sets for generative ai is crucial for success in the rapidly growing field. By developing analytical and critical thinking skills, problem solving skills, attention to detail, creativity and innovation, a strong communication skill, you can excel in this field. Programming language that we have discussed about, mastering machine learning, deep learning techniques, uh, exploring natural language processing, computer visioning, building a strong foundation of mathematical and statistics is also necessary. Gaining practical experiences through projects and internships is important. Staying up to date with the latest trends and advancement is in generative AI are also important for staying relevant in this competitive industry. If you are interested in pursuing a career, it is important for you to start building upon these skills. At the end of the day, see, let me answer this question again. When somebody asks that, do I need to learn a programming language, very core programming language for it? See, it's not just the fact that you have to learn core programming language to develop a career, but if you can learn the skill to efficiently tell this AI model what you want is also important, because the developer is not the end career prospect of it. Even the you know art and design part of it, generative AI content designer, what they do is they give efficient prompts, right? Giving efficient prompt is a skills that is required here. So I hope that all of the skills that we have discussed, the approaches with respect to how to gain the skills and how to build your knowledge, how to gain first-hand experiences through hands-on project and internships that we have discussed here are would serve beneficial to you guys, right? So I think we are 10 minutes to go now, and I am here to wrap the session up. This is a little bit of myself. You can connect me through LinkedIn, TopMeet, and my email address is also mentioned here. And now I think we are good to go with the Q&A session. So the forum is open for questions, if anybody would have it.
Sure. I think you can post your questions into the Q&A section and we'll take it up. I think there's one question from Pooja Mittal. She's asking, what is better, taking up a course led by top B schools in India on digital transformation or going for online courses, and how to make an informed decision on which one to choose?
Great. Uh, which one to choose depends upon what your end goal is. If you want to take a degree in this field, go for B schools that exist there, or IT schools that exist there. If you want to build skills, if you want to build some skills, online platform is the best. Because see, when it comes to top B schools, etc., there are certain factors that you need to consider, right? Whether you have that much time commitment that you can give it to it, the financial constraints associated with it, etc., and whether there is a need to get the degree with respect to the fact that you would be giving a year or two in this. Is there a need for it? If yes, then top B schools are the option. If you want to build upon the skills that are relevant in this industry and learn all the new technology that is evolving in the digital transformation that you just mentioned, online courses, they provide you certifications also which you can showcase. So online courses are better. So there is no choosing between one or two, but this is conditional upon what you want as your end goal, right? So making an informed decision would depend upon what exactly do you want at the end of the day, whether it is getting a degree or building relevant skills and then hitting up the right job that you want. I think I'm able to see the questions. What kind of searching tools they are using to get information in the huge data set? So, searching tools, there are no specific tools as such that would be required to get an accurate information from the huge data set that exists there, right? What is important here is that how would you give it a command? Command is known as prompt. How efficiently you are able to give the command to extract the relevant information from it. So prompt engineering. This is not a tool but a skill that is required here to fetch the accurate information from the huge data set that exists there. With each prompt that you give, the model refines itself. The model learns from backward learning, what it has done previously, and then what you are expecting out of it. It learns from it. So there comes the art of prompt engineering, right? There is no specific tool. As I earlier also mentioned, tools are specific with respect to the requirement, report generation, requirement code generation, image generation. But as far as chat GPT and text generations are concerned, or with respect to any tool that exists there, giving them accurate prompt, the skill to give an accurate prompt is important here. um, what can't what we cannot do with generative AI? I think this is the question. So see, there are some of the very sensitive areas which are yet to be explored by generative AI. So say, for example, the financial implications. There is a bank. It has huge amount of PII data with it, right? It cannot give this PII data to a generative AI model because this is an open source model. This is what the limitation are there, and then the evolution Gen AI researchers are working upon how we should tackle this. Second is the legal prospect of it, the law and legal prospect of it, right? Generative AI is still working upon giving legal, like how would it give appropriate legal support to to the requirement that exists there. So there are, since this field is evolving, right, there are certain pursuits where it have to get an hands on. So there is nothing what it cannot do, but it has to explore its potential in these fields such as law, such as finance, etc. So this is what it's there. I think we have one more question. What are the limitations of generative AI? What kind of application is suitable to implement? Yeah, there are limitations of generative AI. Definitely there are. This is an open-ended model. So there would definitely be a limitation to this. If you're building a Gen AI of your own, what exactly it would be? There would be mitigation constraints, or probably say some sort of AI security attack constraints that are there, the transparency part of it, or how robust would the application of Gen AI is. Second is the PII data that I just mentioned about. There are various limitations in these sectors also. So when a open source platform or open source tool such as ChatGPT, etc., sets out its terms and conditions, they definitely mention the limitations of the generative AI model that exists there. What are the online courses available at TimesPro on Gen AI? I leave this to Ekta to answer this. There are two more questions that I'll take and then I'll pass it on to Ekta. If it is safe to share big data to Gen AI platform, okay. Is it safe to share? Okay, see, till the time it's personal data, PII data, uh, as far as the limitations are concerned, the GPT model or any AI model, it holds the data for 30 days. For 30 days, the data is there with it. You know, there are certain safety concerns that exist there, but there are safety precautionary actions also that are being taken by these platforms. So, just just an advice from a personal front, or a disclaimer sort of thing: do not share extreme personal data with respect to, say, for example, I gave you an example of banks are not eligible to share their personal data with these platforms, because even if they want to generate something, they have to do it on their own, because even if whatever security measures that they are taking, at the end of the day, it's very risky for a model it's very risky to expose these data to the model. So yeah, this is there. I think, Ekta, now we're done with the questions. I think you can take over
There's
the
one
session.
more last
Uh,
question, which is any difference between OpenAI and Azure Gen AI?
any difference between OpenAI and
Azure Gen AI.
Azure Gen AI?
Yeah.
So OpenAI, that is the chat GPT platforms that are there, Azure OpenAI, it helps you on a similar line. It helps you build a model, right? OpenAI uses the model keywords argument to specify what model to use. Azure OpenAI, it has the concept of unique model development. So this is the specified difference between OpenAI and Azure OpenAI. So when you use Azure OpenAI model, it should refer to the underlying deployment name, etc. you choose when you deploy the model. So it is unique to model development when it comes to Azure Gen AI. So yeah.
All right. So I think I'll take on that question. So yeah, we have one program which is through IIT Mandi, which is a certificate program in applied artificial intelligence and machine learning. So this will be a 6-month online program which offers a unique opportunity to gain industry-ready skills. We have 120 hours of live online sessions led by the faculties from IITs. We have a curriculum that covers what Chitralekha mentioned, right? Everything from Python fundamentals to cutting edge topic like AI for speech processing and computer visions. You will also get hands-on experience. We'll have assignments, case studies, projects, and also there is a 5-day campus immersion at prestigious IIT Mandi to obviously network with your peers and faculty. Once you complete this program, you will get a joint certificate from IIT Mandi and TimesPro, which you can obviously add to your resume. So I think this program is for anyone, if you are a graduate or a seasoned professional or anyone seeking advancements in AI and ML. This program will empower you to make your mark. So I think I've added the link to the chat. You can check this out. And if there are any queries still, you can just post it into the Q&A section. And you can check out the link which I've added in the chat box. So I think, yeah, no more questions we have here for now. So I think thank you so much. A very big thank you to Chitralekha. Your session was truly engaging and we have learned a lot of new things. And also to all of our participants for making today's webinar engaging and enlightening. And please stay tuned for more exciting sessions we have on tech, which is planned every Saturday. So, thank you so much, everyone, once again. And as we continue to explore the frontiers of technology together, thank you so much. You can, if there are any still questions remaining, you can mail it to us or let us know. We will surely get back to you. Thank you so much, Chitralekha. Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you, Ekta. Thanks everybody for attending the session. Thank you. Your questions were very insightful to me, and I hope the answers were relevant to what you were asking or seeking out of this session.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks. Bye bye. Have a good day. Bye.